Hi Jim, does your beard have ACC? What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com bringing you another Q&A video. This one in particular being sponsored by Squarespace. If you need a website, head over to squarespace.com/soccerreviewsforyou. This is the series on my channel where I answer a bunch of your weird and or interesting football boot related questions, all pulled from my Instagram, which is sr4u_Josh. So if you have a question that you'd like me to potentially answer in an upcoming Q&A episode, make sure you go and follow me there if you don't already. Also, if you guys enjoy the Q&A series on the channel and want to see it continue, don't forget to support this episode with a like. That lets me know that you want to see more. And if you aren't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. Hi Dave, what's the worst tackle you've ever done? I really like this question because I don't think I've ever talked about anything like this on the channel before, but I can tell you that especially as I've gotten older, I commit a lot of fouls. Now, typically I play as a striker, which is a position where I guess you wouldn't do a lot of fouling, but I try to play as physical as possible, almost as somewhat of an intimidation factor, but I can't say that I'm a particularly dirty tackler. Most of the fouls that I commit are like going shoulder to shoulder a little bit too hard, or kind of stiff arming a guy a little bit with my arm out or something like that. Nothing major, nothing that even typically warrants a yellow card most of the time, just kind of little fouls that kind of add up over the course of the game, and then I have to be a little bit more careful. But in general, those are the fouls that I commit. However, there are two instances that come to mind where I kind of think that maybe I made a little bit of a dirty tackle. The first situation was at like 13 or 14 years old, which at that age, I was definitely one of the bigger kids. And I don't know why this has stuck in my head for such a long time. No one got hurt on the play, so it's not a dirty tackle in that sense. But I remember playing central midfield at the time, and somebody was running very slowly up the middle towards our end. I was kind of backtracking, and I was coming from behind them full pace. I think I probably lost the ball or something like that. For whatever reason, a little bit angrier than I should have been. And I kind of came from behind shoulder to shoulder and pretty much drilled the guy, and he went flying. It was a foul, no yellow card or anything like that. And then the second situation was a little bit more recent. I was playing as a striker, and every time the goalie would get the ball and kind of boot it out, obviously, it's kind of up to you to try and hold the ball up, and jumping up for a header in most cases is what ends up happening. And I remember the center back who was marking me kept jumping up and putting his arms on top of my shoulder, and the ref for the most part wasn't really calling it, and it was driving me nuts. So on the like third or fourth time that he decided to do this, I kind of just decided to move a little bit and duck a little bit. So when he went to jump up and put his hands on my shoulders, they weren't there. And what ended up happening is because I had ducked a little bit, his knees kind of knocked against my lower back, and he ended up like flipping over top of me and then landing flat on his back, kind of winding himself. It wasn't actually a foul on my part. It was a foul against him just because of him jumping on my back. But yeah, it was kind of my fault that he ended up landing like that, and I don't feel bad about it. Hey, Bobby Moore, do you think it's worth playing in old football boots like the Ronaldinho Legends rather than something newer like the Vapor 13s? There's absolutely nothing wrong with playing in older football boots if that's what you want to do. The only thing I would say is if you're talking about football boots that old, that have been sitting for a very long time, with the glues kind of hardening up and potentially degrading over time as well, it's entirely possible that you could go out and find these older boots on eBay, even if they're in brand new condition. But as you start to play in them, they could actually break a little bit sooner than you'd like them to. And of course, there's not going to be any kind of warranty on a pair of football boots that's 15 years old. So if you can afford it and that's what you really, really want to do, yeah, you can absolutely do it. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not going to be at a disadvantage wearing older boots rather than newer ones. But in general, I think if you're playing very regularly, going with newer boots that are going to be a little bit more fresh in terms of the materials and how long ago they were made might be a better idea. And I guess I should say if you're buying an older boot to wear every once in a while, they're probably going to be okay. But if you're buying an older boot to play every single day and expecting them to last a long time, that might not work out so well. And even so, it would kind of depend on the specific boot. What do you think about the Raheem Sterling Jordan deal? So if you haven't heard, it's been reported that Raheem Sterling has been offered a $120 million endorsement deal with Jordan Brand. Now, they haven't specified how long that deal would be. I'm assuming a very long time for such a large amount of money. And what's also being reported is that Sterling is considering this deal. I don't know what he has to consider for that much money, but the interesting part of this for us, though, is that Raheem Sterling is, of course, a footballer, and Jordan Brand is predominantly a basketball company, kind of a sub-brand of Nike. If you didn't know, they are technically the exact same company. And obviously, Jordan Brand has done stuff with the PSG club specifically in terms of providing some of their kits specifically for the Champions League. And we have seen some Jordan Brand tie-ins for football boots, but they're mostly just colorways rather than a Jordan specific line that's completely separate from the Nike boots, which is kind of what this deal more or less implies. I can't imagine that they would spend that much money on an endorsement deal with one player to only offer limited edition Jordan Brand Nike stuff every once in a while. I would think that if they're going to do this and they're serious about it, we're probably going to get a line of Jordan specific football boots completely separate from the Nike stuff, which would be really exciting. It means more variety from the Nike brand, even though it would be marketed as Jordan, but it's also a very interesting direction for the company, and I'm not sure how it would do long term, given the fact that Michael Jordan is a basketball player. And just out of curiosity, I'd like you guys to answer this question down below in the comments, but would you seriously be interested in a Jordan Brand football boot? And I guess in fairness to Nike, all of the Jordan Brand PSG collaborative stuff that they've done over the last year and a half has done really well. The boots sold out, the kits have pretty much sold out. The only stuff that didn't do well was the Hypervenom Phantom 2, the Neymar Jordan Brand ones, but the Phantom 2 in general was kind of a bit of a dud from a sales perspective, so we're not going to count those, and they were a long time ago now. So I definitely think that there is potential for a Jordan Brand football boot, especially if it's really cool, interesting, and potentially innovative, which is what I would expect from something new from the Nike brand. I think it has potential to do well, but only time will tell. Either way, I'm excited to see what they're going to come up with if this actually does happen. Hey Jamar, do you know why Nike stopped the top-end indoor and turf boots with most models? There's no official statement from Nike on this, but if I had to guess, it's based on the fact that they just weren't selling very well. When you price a top-end football boot with an FG stud pattern, they're between $200, $250, even $300 when you're talking about Nike's boots. So when you make an indoor model, yeah, the indoors are expected to be cheaper, but they can't be too cheap because then it kind of makes you question why the top-end firm ground boots are so expensive, which means that a top-end indoor or turf boot has to be priced between $150 and $175, which is a lot of money, more money than what most people are willing to spend on indoor or turf boots, which means that they haven't historically sold all that well, even though the quality is really good. I would say most people looking to buy indoor or turf boots are looking to spend no more than $120 or less, which is exactly the top price point now for most of the indoor and turf models on offer from Nike. They're not exactly the same quality as the top end FG boots, but again, I don't think that there's that much demand for it. And if you've been to a Nike outlet over the last 2 or 3 years, it's filled with those top end indoor and turf boots, which is typically a sign that they're not selling very well because Nike has to push them in their outlet stores at a heavily discounted price, of course. Hey Johnson & Johnson, would you suggest me a pair of indoor shoes that can be used on concrete without them tearing apart after a few uses? I would definitely go for the Adidas Samba Classic. Inexpensive, decent quality, and pretty much bulletproof. Certainly a very durable option if you're going to be using them in a street soccer type environment. Hey Jamichael, would you ever consider branching out from just cleat reviews to do other things such as vlogs, etc.? The issue for me in regards to expanding what I already do as far as videos are concerned is just time constraints. I spend a lot of time on the videos that you guys get every single day on this channel as it is, so for me to try and do more stuff on top of what I'm already doing would be a little bit tricky. As far as vlogs specifically go, I'm not going to be making vlogs regularly. I don't consider myself a very good vlogger, nor do I do stuff that's very vlog worthy on a regular basis. The one thing that I've kind of been floating around as an idea is maybe doing some kind of gym/workout stuff in terms of video content. That's something that I personally really like to do. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in down below in the comments. But as of right now, I mean, it's hard for me to say that I would never do something different, but I don't have any immediate plans to do so. But if there is something that you guys would specifically like to see, let me know what that is down below in the comments. Is it better to hand wash your boots or put them in the wash? What is the best for the durability of the boots? This whole putting your boots in the washing machine thing, I don't think ever existed prior to boots having knitted uppers. And because knitted uppers are supposed to mimic socks and you put socks in the washing machine, somehow people have it twisted where sock boots are perfectly fine to put in the washing machine machine as well. And people do it. They don't have any problems with it. I would personally not recommend it. I think the best way to wash your boots, whether they're sock boots or leather or whatever material they're made out of, is by hand. That's the way I always did it growing up. That's the way I still do it today. I personally would not recommend putting your boots in the washing machine. It's also something that just seems exceptionally lazy. When will Spider-Man make his return in your videos? Hey, you want to come on? No? Okay. Not today. Hey, JCPenney, this isn't a question, but it needs to be addressed. A friend of mine recently started playing soccer and he bought the Superfly 6 Academy. I asked him why he didn't go for the Vapor and he responded with, I feel like my ankles are going to break without the collar. I mean, the man clearly likes his ankle support. Hey, Joke Namovich, what is your personal favorite model of Mizuno football boots? When the Rebula 3 came out, it was the Rebula, but now that I've tried the Mizuno Morelia Neo 2 Beta, while it's not really my style of football boot, I would think that if you just showed me both boots that I'd prefer the Rebula, but having worn the Beta, I actually prefer the Beta. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I also want to say thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. If you've never heard of Squarespace, it's an all-in-one platform that allows you to build clean and professional-looking websites for either personal or business reasons. Trust me when I say that trying to build your own website can be very confusing and also very expensive, but with a platform like Squarespace, they have pre-made templates that are basically usable for anything that you want to do, whether it's a blog, e-commerce, whatever it might be. They have the right template for you. It's super easy to use and everything that you need is already built into the platform. So if you want to send out an email campaign to everyone that has signed up through your website, you can do that right from Squarespace. So if you're looking to build your own professional looking website for your brand or business, head over to squarespace.com/soccer reviews for you to start your free trial. And if you decide to continue on with them, you can use coupon code soccer reviews for you to get 10% off your first purchase. All of that info is linked down below in the description, so make sure you go ahead and check it out. And once again, thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you have a football boot related question that you'd like me to answer in the next Q&A episode, make sure you go and follow me on Instagram. It is SR4U_Josh. Also, if you have any questions regarding anything that was discussed in this video, leave that down below in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.